1 minute till dive.
This woman is flirting with death.
0.
She's trying to dive deeper than any other human being has been before. She'll do it on one single breath of air. During the dive, her heart will almost stop.
I'm not scared of dying at all. I just think that when you die, you die.
Other vital signs will sink to lethal levels.
I hope I don't die painfully.
Oh, that was such a cool thing to watch. Blew me away. Blew me away. I'm speechless, man. I'm speechless.
She's trying to become the woman who dives the deepest and to return alive. The average person can hold their breath for 40 seconds. Tanya Streeter can do it for over 6 minutes.
It's just my thing. I have this unique relationship with the ocean. I'm entirely blessed to be able to test myself in that environment.
Tanya uses this ability to dive to great depths without any equipment, using only the air in her lungs. It's called free diving. Diving to the ocean bed on a single breath of air is an ancient skill among pearl and sponge fishermen. But only in the past 20 years has it become an internationally competitive sport. It requires superhuman levels of fitness. She's in the Caribbean to regain a lost world record. One of her rivals recently hit 136 meters. Now Tanya needs to go deeper, and the warm, clear waters are ideal for settling the score. Tanya Streeter's assault on the world record is being masterminded by her manager and husband, Paul.
We started out in freediving with him offering me no support whatsoever. Absolutely not interested, nothing at all. And it's taken us a lot to get to the point where we are now, where we work together and where I trust him implicitly.
Dive safety is Paul's ultimate responsibility.
There are possibilities of death in the sport of freediving, and they happen when people do not practice the sport correctly.
Even on the best run dives, danger is ever present. Freedivers can black out and drown. Around 50 die each year. Even the life-giving air in their lungs turns poisonous at depth, making divers feel drunk. And the crushing water pressure can perforate vulnerable eardrums.
Okay, that's nice, good.
Freediving doesn't usually make the front pages, but the press are naturally interested in a glamorous woman who may be dead in 3 weeks' time.
I get frustrated by the way I'm perceived. Really frustrated by that.
Yeah, Tanya obviously has an attraction. I mean, anybody who says that sex doesn't sell is a liar, because it does.
I think that's nice.
To regain the world record, Tanya intends to drop 145 meters below the Caribbean Sea. The length of the rope is 3 times the height of Nelson's column.
I am honestly not afraid of going so deep. I'm scared that I won't succeed. I'm scared that something might happen down there that I'm not in control of. I'm scared that it's going to hurt more than it did yesterday.
During 15 practice dives, Tanya will slowly build up her body's resistance to the pressure and pain of extreme depth. Her support team of divers need highly specialized equipment to go to the depths Tanya reaches simply by holding her breath.
It's a big dive to be at that sort of depth, and I can't imagine being at that sort of depth without any equipment whatsoever. It's just totally outside my concept.
All right, all safety divers, we're about to have a briefing.
If us as divers aren't happy, let's abort the dive, all right? We're going to be no use to Tanya. The signal, which everybody knows for an abort dive scenario, is what?
Continual tapping.
Yeah, continual tapping on the sticks.
Three minutes till dive. 3-minute countdown.
There's an unwelcome visitor below.
Can you see it?
I think she just spotted an oceanic white-tip shark, which is renowned for being very ferocious.
It's just below us, just swimming around, looking for some dinner.
The shark disappears, and despite her concern, Tanya decides to go ahead with the dive.
There she goes. Go, girl, go.
That shark spooked her.
Tanya descends on a weighted metal sled, which plummets down a rope at 3 meters a second. The rope gets longer with every dive.
I open my eyes and look around me. I look at the divers and I wave at them or give them an okay sign when I go past them. It's dark, but sometimes it's cold.
At 50 meters, Tanya's lungs have been squeezed by the pressure to the size of a clenched fist.
The sensation in my ears is extremely painful. The eardrums are bending in. It feels like I've got a sharp object being stuck in both sides of my head. When I get to the bottom, I'm very happy. I just steal a second of time to realize that it is peaceful.
The compressed air in the lift bag sends her back to the surface like a rocket.
And then the ride back up is, you know, it's kind of a thrill. It's like the roller coaster part of it.
Swimming the last few meters reduces the risk of blacking out. The rapid pressure changes here are the most punishing on the body. A slower ascent helps it adapt. It's a good dive, but only shallow.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Far more daunting challenges lie ahead in the coming days.
Yeah, the shark was on my mind for sure, because you can only see with a mask, you can only see like that, you know, he might be right here.
Tanya was born in the Caribbean.
She probably went into the water the first time at about 6 weeks old. Well, she and her brother were raised in Cayman when there was no television, so she spent most of her life outside, on the beach, dabbling in rock pools, making little aquariums.
After her parents divorced, Tanya was sent away to board at private school in England.
I used to cry when the plane would kind of do its big turn right over where I spent, you know, every day of the holidays at the beach or in the sea or something, and that was really hard. I used to say my silent prayer that I would come back.
Her mother hoped that Tanya would prepare for a professional career, but the draw of the ocean was too great, and after accidentally discovering a talent for breath-hold diving while spearfishing, Tanya decided to take up the sport of freediving full-time.
This is Tanya's chosen career, and you go with it. You know, my friends all just say to me, "Oh, I don't know how you can do it." Well, I don't really have a choice in that.
The only things I've stood up for in my life were my marriage to my husband and my freediving, which until I was successful with, and she could go, "Ooh, Tanya's in the paper," you know, she wasn't too thrilled about either, so.
Tanya trains intensively to prepare for a world record. Deep dives cause immense pain because of the crushing effect of water pressure.
I do the breathing exercises to really train my body to get used to what it's going to feel like at depth. I've developed strong abdominal muscles to be able to do that and to be able to condition my body to be prepared for that.
Tanya's ability to dive so deep seems to be a combination of innate natural talent and intense training. But scientists who study freedivers confess that they don't fully understand how she does it.
In theory, it should be impossible for a freediver to dive beyond about 30 meters.
For the most part, we can take any fit, healthy individual and get them up to a 4.5-minute breath hold quite easily. To get into the 6 and 7 minute and even 8-minute breath holds, you're looking at a very exceptional person. They're doing things that we can't fully explain.
0.
Tanya's dramatic dives are not just about breath holding, but conquering pain. And right now, all the pain is focused on every freediver's weak spot, the ears. The world record attempt is around 5 days away, but for the last few dives, Tanya has failed to reach the bottom of the rope. Her ears lock up, and going deeper could burst an eardrum. At best, this would cause the immediate cancellation of the record bid. At worst, Tanya would lose consciousness because of the pain. She simply cannot afford for that to happen.
I'm congested in my right ear.
The weather sums up the mood of the boat.
And that's the whole point of training. But I think she hasn't done any worse, so she's reached a plateau now. She's still got her record in her sights.
I am very congested, and I need to get rid of the congestion fast.
Okay. I'm just tapping on the head. That's what it's supposed to feel like.
Okay.
Tapping on the sinus.
Oh, it hurt on this side.
The island's doctor is used to dealing with diving injuries.
Sand.
Ow. Sand.
This is different.
And maybe if I get
The doctor diagnoses a severely bruised eardrum and a sinus infection.
Don't blow your nose, ever. Just sniff.
It's a devastating blow. Tanya cannot dive until the ear recovers, but the record attempt is only 5 days away. Free diver Tanya Streeter is trying to become the deepest woman in the world, but she's got a severely bruised eardrum and the injury is jeopardizing her world record bid. Neither is she hitting her training targets, and she has just one more practice dive before the real thing in 2 days' time.
I am scared of not being able to live up to the people that are waiting for me on the dock when I get back who really want the good news, you know. I think pity is a hard thing to handle.
Though the odds are stacked against her, Tanya's husband and manager has plans for his wife.
Today, hopefully Tanya's sinuses will be a little bit better. And we are going for 145 metres. If she can get that
137 metres would be enough, unofficially, to break the women's world record. But Tanya's ears remain a big worry.
It's just like, instead of a nice clear pop, it's... Yeah.
He wants me so much to shine. He wants it so much, probably more than anything else.
Just make sure you got all your equipment. We don't want to have to turn around once we've left the dock, because Tanya's into her breathing techniques.
Morning.
While the divers test the equipment which keeps them alive at such inhospitable depths, Tanya tests her equipment, her lungs. She lies face down in the water for minutes at a time.
I'm very conscious of how slow my heart is beating, and it's like turning up the volume on my heartbeat. I can really feel it.
Safety divers, you've got 10 minutes to be in the water, please. 10 minutes.
Back in the water after a rest on doctor's orders, Tanya tells Paul that even just below the surface, her ears are still painful. The whole event has cost Paul £50,000 to stage. It's not just pride that'll suffer, it'll be a financial disaster.
I guess the desire for success is much more prominent in the manager side than it would be in the husband side.
3 minutes till dive.
Despite the possible consequences,
2-minute countdown.
Paul and Tanya decide to go ahead anyway.
1 minute till dive.
In the final few seconds before diving, Tanya uses a technique called packing.
Plus 10.
She gulps air repeatedly, forcing it into her lungs to maximize the oxygen levels in her body.
Plus 20. Go, girl. There she goes. Go, girl. Go.
The first part of the dive is less painful than Tanya had feared. But as she goes deeper, another potentially fatal hazard must be faced.
1 minute underwater.
At extreme depths, air turns poisonous. The condition's called nitrogen narcosis. It causes euphoria and irrational behavior.
It's a lack of coherency. I mean, it's not lack of consciousness or anything. It's effectively like being drunk.
All divers must guard against it. They concentrate intently. Tanya even bites her lip to cause pain to ward off the euphoria.
2 minutes underwater.
She's been underwater longer than planned. Paul knows there's something wrong.
2 minutes 20.
130 meters below, Tanya has slowed the sled to a crawl. She's in agony. She gives up, having failed to reach the target depth once more.
3 minutes.
There are no celebrations.
Good to see you back.
Tanya is still below the current women's world record, and there's no time for another dive before the big day.
Both of them just locked up. It's painful when you push it.
Yeah, for sure.
But
It's the quietest the boat has been for the past 3 weeks.
I enjoy the training days so much, but when the pressure is on, it really kind of gets to a stage where you come this far and all the media are there and you just really want it to be over. It's not the reason that I free dive.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Tanya Sridhar.
The first thing that Tanya does on dry land is to put on a brave face for the sponsors and the media.
Paul is basically responsible for putting this entire event together.
The audience want her to succeed, but it's been another bad day, and the strain is beginning to show.
Oh, if this is this morning, wait till tomorrow night.
24 hours before the record attempt, and Tanya's ears are feeling better. But the husband and wife team must now decide what depth to attempt.
How do you feel about 160? 160 is a nice round number. And just go for it.
What's that in feet?
I think it was...
Don't tell me.
525 feet.
Okay.
Means you'd be the first woman over 500 feet.
The target of 160 meters is very ambitious. If Tanya succeeds, it'll be a genuine world first. She will become the world's deepest free diver, man or woman.
You just make sure I'm safe down there.
I'll make sure you're safe. I'll make sure you know what it's like. I'll make sure everything's set up. I'll double check everything. Make sure the clips are in the right way.
It's record day.
I'd like to start just by saying thank you so much for all of that hard work over the last couple of weeks. They've just been a dream team. Just got to do it once more successfully. Pre-dive checks and bubble checks. Just because it's on the event day, let's stay sharp on that.
We've got the IV lines, we've got the fluids, the resuscitation drugs in here.
I have a very healthy fear for the ocean, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. The ocean is one of the most powerful things in nature.
So far, so good. The weather looks quite nice.
I do have an intense fear of failure. I'm afraid that I won't do it. I'm afraid that I'll do something wrong.
Tanya's in the water now, so preparation for her diving attempt has begun.
Tanya's mum joins the crowd of media and well-wishers.
Very mixed emotions. She'll be okay, though.
Everybody in, Simon?
Okay, everybody, we got a 10-minute countdown until dive time.
When my daughter actually hits the water and begins to disappear from sight, I wish her Godspeed and say a silent prayer.
15 seconds.
Tanya packs her lungs with more air than ever before.
At 0.
Suddenly, she releases that vital air.
Plus 10.
And slumps forward, unconscious. Tanya's taken in too much air.
I overpacked.
Packing in so much that she passed out.
Can I go?
But she recovers quickly, and the judges give her permission to carry on with the dive.
50, there she goes. Come on, shit. To the bottom.
It's the worst possible start to her attempt on the record.
30 seconds. 45 seconds, dive time. 1 minute 30.
The divers urge Tanya on.
2 minutes, dive time. 2 minutes 30.
Tanya reaches bottom, 160 meters. The pain and pressure is overwhelming, but there is a much more serious problem. Nitrogen narcosis strikes. Tanya is euphoric and confused. She forgets to release a simple catch, allowing the lift bag to propel her to the surface. She's in much more danger than she realizes.
2 minutes 50.
The deepest diver passes his equipment's depth limit to try and help her. But after an agonizing delay, she finally thinks clearly and releases the catch. Tanya's traveling too fast. She passes Paul, forgetting to let go of the lift bag, and risks passing out when she takes her first gulp of air.
Over here.
The rules of free diving state that Tanya must be seen to be conscious by the judges. Paul, who's no idea whether she reached the bottom, cannot assist her until the judges are satisfied. Finally, the judges confirm that she did reach 160 meters.
The deepest human being is my daughter. Good grief.
It wasn't the best dive that I've done. It was the deepest, but that's not necessarily the best.
It's a new world record!
But look at what we can do when things aren't going well. Imagine what we can do when things are going well.
And miraculous situations continue as next on 5 Life we have the woman with the mysterious brain.